Hi everyone, my name is Emily Leahy. I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist, and I'd like us to talk about fat. I love fat, I think it's great, but not all fat is good. So let's discuss why that affects our body and how it does. So first off, we got to introduce LDL fats and HDL fats. When I think of the differences, I think of LDL fat as lousy. You don't want it. It's lousy. You don't want that much of it. It's lousy. But HDL fat, happy fat, really helps promote better traffic flow, blood flow, takes less stress on the heart. Like it's wonderful to have optimal HDLs, happy fats in the body, and controlling the LDL fats in the body, the lousy fat in the body. So what does that look like? Like what do those two things do in the body? Okay, looking at lousy fat. What lousy fat does when it's messing up the traffic flow is that it takes different things from the liver to the muscle or to different adipose tissue in the muscle. Now, a diet that has really high, poor fats, unhealthy fats in the body, that LDL is going to increase. So there's going to be a large traffic flow going from the liver throughout the body. And I gotta tell you guys, those veins get smaller and smaller when it's going to your hands and feet. See, that can lead to a lot of blockage in the body. And that puts stress on the heart when we're having things stored in the liver being taken out to muscle tissue, to different parts of the body. So in order to improve the communication, we need to control and not let our LDLs get too high. So now we kind of explain LDLs. HDLs do the exact opposite. They take things that are not good to have an increase of in the body, takes it from the muscle tissue to the liver to be taken care of and excreted from the body. That improves blood flow. That creates, I don't want to say creates. It basically prevents heart disease when we have optimal HDL because there's just less gunk to be filtered throughout the body because it's all being taken from the liver, or it's being taken from the muscle, different parts of the body, and it's taken to the liver to be released from the body, especially if it's not good for us. So that's why HDL, happy fat, is good because it protects us. So let's talk about food sources. Like, okay, now I know what LDL and HDL is. How do I raise my HDL in my body? How do I control and lower my LDL? So we'll just look at fat sources. I'm going to draw a little line right here. We have X and Y right here on this side of the squiggle, and over here we have an I. Well, I want to take the capital off of it. I just want it to be just an I. So when I think of X's, I think of trans fats. Trans fats are going to be basically oils, solid at room temperature, margarine, anything hydrogenated oils. And we're looking at margarine as a trans fat. It's chemically made, and it's been worked on in the lab to make that margarine. And honestly, I'd rather trust a cow than a chemist. So I would choose butter over margarine. And when I think of butter, I'm looking at this Y right here. There's less legs on it than the X. The X has 4 legs. The Y has 3 legs. So it's less intense in the body. And that's going to be your saturated fat, which again is like butter or anything that has had a face on this earth, like a cow, a chicken, a turkey, a pig. They all have saturated fat. Some of those animal sources can be lower in saturated fat than other sources. Sources that are high in saturated fat are like mainstream marketed beef is a good way to think about that. Beef that has lots of hormones or even preservatives or fillers in there. I gotta say that when we're looking at beef, I suggest go grass-fed beef. That's gonna have more omega-3s because the diet for that cow was a healthier diet, had more grains and probably some other things in there to help improve the quality of that meat. So I just want to say that as just a food for thought. So if you want to choose healthier sources and you love beef, try grass-fed beef. See if you like it. It's really high in omega, not really high, but there are traces of omega-3 fatty acids, or ALA, omega-3s. So Those are two things we want to restrict and limit in our body so that we don't raise our LDL and give our HDL a chance to catch up. So when we're looking at eyes, we're looking at omega-3s, or another way is unsaturated fatty acids. So that can get complicated because there's monounsaturated, there's polyunsaturated, there's so many different categories of eye style fats. So that should give you a lot of variety to choose from. When I think of good fat, I think avocados. Gosh, I want to think of nuts, grains, and seeds. I love almonds, pistachios, walnuts, pecans. Even looking at cooking oils, avocado oil, olive oil are excellent choices. I even enjoy peanut oil for like larger frying, because peanut oil at least has oleic acid in it. Oleic acid is an omega-9 fatty acid. It's very good. It prevents inflammation. It's anti-inflammatory. So if you're going to choose an omega-6 or some type of oil for frying, or like, using an abundance of, and you're trying to save money a little bit and trying to extend your oils, peanut oil and avocado oil are excellent. They both have high smoke points, so they don't burn or smoke up on high heats, and so they're really great to cook with. I would just really try to limit vegetable oil, canola oil, soybean oil, and corn oil, because those are omega-6s. And what we're seeing when diets are high in omega-6s, yeah, we can probably, because they're still, omega-6s are unsaturated fatty acids. Yeah, we see an improvement in fat in the body. However, it can release stress in the body. So my suggestion is, you really can't get away from omega-6 oils. They're in everything. So I suggest just include omega-3s. Just make sure you have a balance of omega-6 and omega-3s in the body. And you, again, have a lot of variety for omega-3s. Chia seeds, flaxseed are other examples of this. Olives are another example of a good omega-3. Fatty fish, like salmon, are another example of really good omega-3s that we can have in the body, and omega-6s. Honestly, it's, again, very good to balance those. So that way we can control LDL and help have optimal HDL in the body. If you're looking at a lab test, for LDL, for blood work, if you're looking at LDL, you want less than 100. That's the score. You're looking at 100 or less. I would say less than 100 is optimal for LDL. Now with HDL, we want to score 60 or above. That's going to be optimal, happy fat levels in the body. So, and also, safe area too is 40 to 59. So if you see that in your blood work or someone else's blood work, that's okay too. We just want to stay above 40. But boy, when we get up to 60 in our blood work with HDL levels, that's huge for preventing heart disease. And I hope that really sets with a lot of people on this explanation, because heart disease is a killer in America. And with our westernized diet, which is high fat, high sodium, high carbs, we got to think, or at least high processed foods, we have to think, all right, how do I change up my sources so I can have healthier fats in my body so that I can improve the communication in my body from the liver to different tissue throughout the body, making sure I'm getting the right nutrients, making sure there's not going to be any traffic jams. I'm on a schedule. I got to feel good about my body. So by having happy fats, that improves HDL, and that improves the flow in the body and reduces inflammation. So I hope that makes sense. I know it's a lot to kind of digest with this information, but if you have any questions, please email me. And again, I love talking about fat, so there's so much more to go into with it. If you have any questions, please email me, and I hope you guys got something from this today. I'll try to put more videos up. Thank you for your time. Have a great day.